soul apart.
Movies for dudes. Hellraiser marathon. We just finished the very first one. It's about 10:30 in the morning.
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
Number one.
Just Hellraiser.
Plain Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. Beyond any terror you have imagined.
Number one follows Frank.
Why are you putting... His name's Frank. You don't need to do Frank.
Do I need air quotes?
No.
Okay, his name is Frank.
Frank.
I don't need to emphasize it either, right?
You don't need to emphasize it.
So it's about a guy named Frank.
I have seen the future of horror. His name is Clive Barker.
As far as we can tell, he's into some sex stuff. But he's kind of pushed his limits.
Yeah, he has nowhere to go.
Pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to find that next high. And where's he going to get it from? It's not going to be whips, chains, or yo-yos or anything weird like that. He's got to find a box. A magic box.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And when sort of you twist and poke this box and you do something with it, it releases, or it opens a door rather, to not necessarily hell.
Right.
Kind of like a gateway, though, if you will.
Where these creatures called Cenobites, led by Pinhead.
Led by Pinhead, the infamous Pinhead.
Just torture you.
Yeah. The Cenobites believe that to really experience true pleasure, you must first experience true pain. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of what their deal is about. So, boom, Frank's in this old house. He's upstairs somewhere.
Yeah.
Opens a box, and in about 2 seconds, boom, he's got hooks in his face. Shred him to bits. You kind of see a guy placing bits of his face together. And then that scene's over. And that's your first
That's the beginning
10
of the
minutes?
movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, right away, we're hooked.
Yeah.
We got blood.
Let's see what he did there.
Yeah, hooks. Yeah.
Voila. Well, this is it.
House was in the family.
Yeah.
Like an old family home that...
So yeah, his brother, this guy's
Larry.
brother, Larry, is coming. He bought the house, so him and his wife and his young daughter, teenage daughter, are going to move into
Let's
the
say
house.
teenage daughter, Kirsty.
Yeah.
And Julia is actually her stepmother, Larry's new wife.
And Julia banged Frank.
We should probably get to that.
No.
They do a flashback. Apparently, Frank just showed up at the door.
He's soaking wet. He's like, ooh.
Hey, I'm Larry's brother. Let's bang?
On the wedding dress.
Sure, you're going to cheat on your husband right away.
Of course.
Yeah, that's a given in any marriage.
Yeah.
That's happening.
That's written in the contract.
Of course.
You sign contracts to get married, right?
I imagine. Yeah, the affair contract.
The affair contract.
Yeah. That's what that whole Thomas Crown affair thing is about.
Oh, I never saw them.
Yeah, well, neither did I.
Rene
but
Russo.
It's got to be something about something.
Okay.
Because within these walls, the unholy is unleashed.
So, banging on the wedding dress. Frank, as you know, we've kind of said before, into some sex stuff. So he knows how to please the ladies.
Mm-hmm. So she's having flashbacks of
extreme
hot
orgasms, basically.
Yeah.
Yep. It's funny when you watch these movies because a lot of people want to pay attention to, okay, this movie about Hellraiser, so it's about like demons and stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I guess, I don't know, you can kind of gloss over a lot of the subtle bits in the film. You can't gloss over the two moving guys.
They're terrible.
Terrible. One guy's got a snaggletooth that was so terrible, we thought he was smoking. No, it wasn't a cigarette. It was a goddamn snaggletooth coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Real gross. Mm-hmm. Also, they're drinking beer and just...
Yeah, and like...
general shitty movers.
Larry doesn't seem to mind either.
No. He's all right with it.
Okay, you get what you paid for, I suppose.
That's, nickel and diamond, these guys.
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to slack a little.
Yeah.
Frank, he gets cut and he starts bleeding. And as soon as that blood hits the floor, it kind of like...
absorbs Frank's corpse, or like part of a corpse is
just like a puddle of goo.
Yeah,
a
goo puddle under the floorboard tastes the blood, and Frank starts turning back into Frank a bit.
Yeah, he kind of like starts reanimating. At no moment in that sort of reanimation was I like, okay, that's totally fake.
Right.
Like, come on, guys. Like, I know it's 87, but you could do better. Mm-hmm. I think it was done really well.
So Julia finds that half reanimated Frank is in the attic.
Yep.
And he needs blood to get back to normal Frank. So she starts bringing lonely old men to the...
Yeah. And
lures them in, and Frank or her kills them.
So Kirsty, she gets upstairs, and she comes face to face with Frank, who's not whole yet. He's still missing large chunks.
He's walking around.
He's walking around at this point, but he's still not a full human.
He's missing skin.
Yeah, he's skinless at this point. She finds the box.
Because Kirsty accidentally opens it and doesn't want pleasure or pain, the Cenobites are like, meh.
Yeah.
And actually, they don't really care about her.
Yeah, they're like, well, we should take you. You did kind of bring us here. And she's like, well, I know where Frank is. And they're like, they kind of freak out.
They're like, Frank, that motherfucker escaped us.
Nobody gets away from me.
Nobody escapes the Cenobites.
Where is that honky bitch?
We'll tear your soul apart.
Chrissy's like, okay, I can get you Frank as long as you promise not to keep me.
Yeah.
Cenobites, particularly Pinhead, pretty reasonable guy.
Yeah.
For, like, a demon dude.
Unlike anything you have witnessed, is born.
I had no frame of reference for these movies whatsoever. We're doing this Hellraiser marathon. I only knew there was a guy with pins in his face.
Yeah. In his head, you might say.
I loved it.
I think the first one's a classic.
It's great. Who didn't love it?
Terrible humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People you don't want to associate with. That's who didn't love it.
Yeah.